Hey guys, give us a thumbs up if you're a mustache rider, because we're here for a pre-game show for Tuesday, 10 games in the NBA. It is NBA in-season tournament day, so get ready to complain, get ready to tweet about ugly courts and uniforms and whatever you need to do, because here it is. It is 10 games on, and we're here to talk about it. I'm glad to have you guys here, and if you are glad to be here, or you're just here out of spite because you hate me and everything that I do, give it a thumbs up while you're here. Why not? Just jump in, because that's what you do, yeah? We always love to watch people that we hate, and we love to watch people that we love. It's a great mesh of stuff. Let's get stuck into everything, and let's talk about the games, because that's what's on, and that's what we're going to do. I'm just looking to see what news just dropped. Herb Jones is in. Josh Richardson's in. Julian Champagny. Oh, I mentioned him the other day. He's starting. That's good. The Heat are starting Lowry, Robinson, Butler, Highsmith, Adebayo. As expected, Jaime Jaquez, waiver wire ad legend, he's back to the bench. That is not a surprise. It's not a surprise. Just remember that we'll see what his minutes look like. His two big games have been without Lowry and without Butler. Let's see how it looks. Not saying he's a bad pick, but let's see how it looks. What else is going on? The Hornets, Jesus Christ. No Haywood, no Miller, no everyone, no Rozier. They're going to play PJ Washington at the 3, allegedly. We still don't have an update on Joel Embiid or on Sandro Mamakhalishvili or LeBron, Anthony Davis, and I have breaking news. You may have seen me tweet this. You know Xavier T. Illman, and you hear all of the announcers going, yeah, Xavier Tillman. Do you know he pronounces his name correctly? He pronounces it Xavier. So all of this, me T. Illmaning him, was not him. It was announcers getting it wrong. So, Xavier, congratulations. You're a winner, baby. Well done. You got your name correct. Not everyone does that, but you got it. Pre-games every day? Not necessarily, Eric. We do it on, I think, 3 or 4 days a week. Just depends on schedule and what I've got going on and how often I go live during the day. All of that sort of stuff. Like on a Thursday where we do the mailbag show, I don't usually do a pre-game show after that. First, did one live show with questions in the second one, and I don't do one on Sunday's game. So I normally do it 3 days a week. You might get a couple of other bonus ones chucked in there, but we're here. We might as well chuck the lineups up on the screen. You can take a squiz at those and see what we know, what we don't know, what we're waiting on. Confirmed lineups: Heat, Lowry, Robinson, Butler, Highsmith, Adebayo. Magic, there's no Fultz, there's no Harris, so it is Anthony Black, it's Jalen Suggs, Franz Wagner, it is Paulo Banchero, and it is Goga Badadze. Bob Covington is starting for the Sixers with Batum out. An unbelievable stream. They play again tomorrow as well. Embiid is questionable. Could we finally get Paul Reed if Embiid is out? We would. We'd definitely get Paul Reed. And then Mo Bamba. They'd both be good streams. We're expecting a lineup for the Hornets of one of the most disgusting lineups you'll ever see. LaMelo Ball, Teo Maledon, Paul Washington Jr., the God of Hammers, JT Thor, and Mark Williams. The Pacers should be as we expect. The Hawks have no Trae Young, and they are starting Bogdan Bogdanovic. I wasn't sure they would do that because their backup point guard situation's gross. Are they going to run Patty Mills? Because there's no Kobe Buffkin. It's going to have... Or Trent Forrest. Is Trent Forrest in the rotation? Jesus. So Murray, Bogdanovic, Hunter, Johnson, Capella. The Pistons are starting the same lineup. Cunningham, Hayes, Thompson, Stewart, Bagley. Just get over playing Isaiah Stewart at the 4 for sake. Just play him at center. They're closing games with him at center. Get him out of the... The Spurs are going to be, I would guess, Sohan, Vassell, Champagny. Very interesting player. Wembanyama and Zach Collins. What else do we know? I don't think there's going to be any debates with the Thunder. Giddey, Shea, Dort, Williams, Holmgren. The Nets, we know the news on Benny Simmons. Dinwiddie, Bridges, Johnson, Finney-Smith, Claxton. That is what they started last game. That is what they should start here. This is one of those cases where Ben Simmons, man, he's out, hip injury. Man, who do they start? Who do they add? We saw it last game. Right? We saw the rotation last game, so don't be thinking that all of a sudden Dennis Smith is going to be there. Maybe he is. Maybe they changed their mind and Dennis Smith is in there, but we have seen evidence of what happens with Simmons out. The Mavericks should be unchanged. Doncic, Kyrie, Jones, Williams, and Lively. Herb Jones returns for the Pelicans. I expect that means Dyson Daniels to the bench, but he's outplayed Hawkins the last couple. I think they'll still go Hawkins, Jones, Ingram, Zion, Valanciunas. The Blazers should be Mays, Sharp, Thibault, Grant, Ayton. The Jazz, George, Clarkson, Abaji, Markkanen, and Collins, who's still probable. The Clippers, I don't think there'll be a change there. Westbrook, Harden, George, Kawhi, Zubats. The Nuggets should be Reggie, KCP, Porter, Gordon, Jokic. The Wolves, no change. Conley, Edwards, McDaniels, Towns, and Gobert. The Warriors, Chris Paul should replace Steph, who's out for a little bit of time with a knee sprain. They said it's not too serious. I'm thinking 2 weeks. Chris Paul, Klay Thompson, Andy Wiggins, Draymond Green, Kevon Looney's our expectation there. I expect the Grizzlies to do the same as last game. So Gilead, Smart, Bane, Jaren, and Biyombo. Of course, Gilead could go to the bench and Zaire could start. And then for the Lakers, well, we don't know about LeBron, but otherwise it'll be D'Angelo Russell, Cam Reddish, Taurean Prince, LeBron, and Anthony Davis. If LeBron is out, it'll be Rui Hachimura. That starts. So there we go. Teo Maledon is starting. So it is going to be Ball, Maledon, Washington, Thor, and Williams. That is one of the smelliest lineups I've seen since Justin Minaya was playing 40 minutes for the Blazers last season. Shout out to him and tanking legend Jonathan Williams Jr., who actually plays for the Rockets, and his name is Nate. Don't know what Jonathan is. His name is Nate. I'm going to have a look at that name because that is one of the worst names ever, Jonathan. Why is he called Jonathan if his name is Nate? All right, let's have a look. So I remember seeing like an official roster transaction for the Rockets, and it goes, oh, Nate Williams Jr. I go, who's that bloke? Like, who is that? But his name is Jonathan, and there is no reason why I can see why he's called Jonathan when his name is Nate Jr. Oh, hang on, wait a second. His full name is Jonathan Williams Jr. So now he's calling himself Nate Williams Jr. Oh, the Nate is from G. Nathan. Jesus Christ. That's a lot to go off. We don't need to worry about that too much more. Hello to everybody who is here. Good to have you guys in the live stream. Have you thumbed me up yet or not? What's going on? We waiting on that? Covington makes sense even after today. Covington makes sense as long as Batum is out. He didn't play that much in the last game where Batum was ready. Black or Cole Anthony tonight or tomorrow? I think Thrift Beast. I think it's really a toss-up there because Cole has really struggled. Black's not a good per minute player or a good shooter. I still probably lean Cole, but yeah, could go either way. Any good streams from Golden State with Curry out? It's going to be Deeper League's Pajemski, and then it's probably going to be Moses Moody, but then it's just Wiggins and Paul who get the bump. This is a good question. Who the heck is coming off the bench for Charlotte today? That is a really good question. One player who Steve Clifford name-checked and said will be in the rotation is a bloke by the name of Leaky Black. So yeah, Leaky Black is going to be in the rotation. Nick Richards is going to be in the rotation. Let's see who else we have. Bryce McGowan is going to have to play a lot. There's Ish Smith exists, and he's going to have to play. Who's the other one? Nick Smith. Maybe he plays. Man, at the moment we've got their benches: Nick Richards, Nick Smith, Bryce McGowan's, Leaky Black, and Ish Smith. And the only guy we don't have playing is Amari Bailey. Shout out to Drake. What else are we waiting on lineup-wise? It's just Embiid. That's the big one. Anyone want to drop that hammer? Because we are 30 minutes away from the start of the game. That might want to come soon, my guys. Have I seen any info on that? Let me double check. Joel Embiid is officially listed active, but that does not 100% mean he plays. But what it does mean, like if they're listed inactive, it's terrible news. So listing someone active puts the probability as higher than 50% is usually what I like to take out of that. So he is listed as active, but it doesn't mean that he's going to play. But it is better news than being listed inactive. Even though players can be listed inactive at times and not play. All right. What else have we got going on here? Is Damian Lillard a buy low? Yeah, of course he is. He's not going to be a 32% shooter or whatever it is. I think Leaky is short for Malik. That would make sense. A little bit. Sixers line hints that Embiid is out. What is the line there? Oh yeah, it just dropped from 5.5 down to 5. You're right. So I just saw that move from 5.5, Philadelphia by 5.5 to Philadelphia by 5. But also remember that the Pacers are good. And that line, what it would have been, probably 7.5, you would think, without Embiid's questionable. But the fact that it just dropped from 5 down to 5.5 is very interesting. Theo Maledon plays? Yeah, Theo Maledon starts. Theo. Leaky Black is a dirty defense. Yeah, he's an unbelievably good defender, Leaky Black, and he is very interesting. What are my thoughts on Butler's form? Is it a trend or will it be the same? This is the worry. When a bloke is 34 and they have some issues with getting their shots up and the shots going in, you have to worry. Like, this is the DeMar DeRozan washed watch situation. He probably isn't this bad. And the same goes for Lillard. He probably isn't this bad. But at this age, anything can happen. And they can go from being all NBA to just like sub all-star on name alone. That is possible at that age. That's what happens. The downside of everyone's career basically is around 29. And they start declining. Whether they decline at that rate or at this rate depends on the player. And then usually as the better you go, the steep decline lasts longer. LeBron's, he will start declining when he's 50. But a lot of guys, it's 33. Like Chris Paul, 35. We saw a dip. All right. Maybe that's Butler. Why is Black starting over Cole? I don't believe, Theo, that they buy into Cole as a long-term part of their team. They do think that Black can do that. I think that they should just put Cole out there because anyone that can shoot would be great, and Black can't do that. And the Black and Suggs fit is, I don't think, ideal, but that's what they believe. Is Kawhi on watch? I don't think so. I think that his last couple of games have been just a weird fit scenario and him sort of deferring. I haven't seen anything before the James Harden arrival that would suggest to me that Kawhi is anywhere near that. Malachi Branham stream today. Branham's a good points guy, but yeah, look, with everyone out, he's worth a look. I would stream Champagny over him, honestly. I think Champagny's a better player. Who is my preferred upside stream for the day? The extra minutes guy. Well, that's a good question. Let's go and have a look at where my daily projections sit. If you are a member of Basketball Monster, we're doing something at the moment. A lot of our daily projection stuff it's based on season-long stuff with some small tweaks. Daniel Tice is out today for personal reasons. He's getting traded. A lot of our individual daily projection stuff is based on seasonal stuff with some auto adjustments. But we are working on some manual adjustment stuff, which will really help, like situations with Jamal Murray out, with Ja Morant out, with all the Blazers guards out. We can really start to tweak guys individually on individual game basis. So we're starting to work on that at the moment. Who is my top stream today? Let's look at under 50%. Well, Skylar Mays is number one there. Kelly Olynyk. Otherwise, it is the Salt Fleek himself, the O'Maladan. He's a really interesting stream. Bob Covington's a really good one. Of the guys who should get extra minutes, the surprise guys, I guess we're looking at is what you mean. Gilead, well, he's not really a surprise guy. Ishmael Smith, Anthony Black, The Hammer, JT Thor, Johnny Isaac, Branham. Where's Champagny on this list? Because I didn't adjust the Champagny minutes. We've only got Champagny projected for 18 minutes. I don't buy that. I think he's going to play more, but I'm not actually currently working at Basketball Monster. I might go and make that adjustment myself. So the other guys who work there, we all have our own opinions, of course. And the daily minutes are set by who's sort of on at the moment. Embiid is playing, by the way. Starting, playing. The lineup is Maxey, Melton, Harris, Covington, Embiid. So there you go. Vegas was wrong. Embiid is playing. The active lineup wins. I firmly believe that Champagny is actually a good player and will play more than that. I might actually go make a tweak on that. I'm going to have a look at the Spurs, how they've got the Spurs rotation set out, because I'm not sure I buy that. 24 to Branham. How many of the one? 21 to Osman, 21 to McDermott. Okay. I just don't think that a starter is going to play 18 minutes. 12 minutes to Devontae Graham. He played no minutes last game, even though Trey Jones was out. I'm gonna change that up. I think. I just don't buy it. I think Champagny's got to play more than 18. I think Sohan has to play more than 30 as well. It's just a very weird lineup. Yeah, let's see what they do. They haven't really used Devontae Graham all season. He had that 112. He played garbage time in that 41-point loss against the Pacers. Maybe we just take him out of the rotation entirely. I don't know. That's a tough one. More long-term value, Kawhi or Butler? I take Kawhi there. Is the weather getting hot here? It's been up and down. There were a couple of 30-degree days the other day. It's, I think, only, what's the temp today? Can't see. I think it's like 20. Oh, maybe, no, 15 degrees. It's pretty low today. Is Dinwiddie a solid play without Simmons? Go back and look at last game. He wasn't. He's okay, but he still wasn't good. We're still holding him because this does open up prolonged opportunity. But yeah, if Trey Murphy comes back, well, he is coming back. Where does he fit in the Pels rotation now? I think he's going to start eventually. I think he's a better option for them than Herb Jones, and he will be playing 30 minutes a night at some point this season pretty quickly because like guys like Hawkins and Marshall and these guys, they're useless. In comparison to what Murphy brings, he will play a very big role. Do I think Huckes is worth a hold? I don't. But let's see how many minutes he plays today. I don't think he's that good, and I don't think he's got that many minutes coming. Do I think Batum is considering retirement with another personal reasons missed game? Yes. I think that there is definitely an issue. There's some issue going on personal-wise, and it's between him and it's obviously in his family. I don't know what the debate is, whether it's him like not wanting to have moved out of LA, issues with his family not wanting to have moved, and debating whether he retires or not. But that's complete speculation, Jack, but that would seem to make a little bit of sense. 15 is 60 Fahrenheit-ish. Okay. There you go. How do I feel about Keontae George? Matus, welcome to the show for the first time. Good to have you here. Do I think he can become someone like Halliburton? Absolutely not. I don't think he's that at all. No, not at all. Do Fultz be a top 100 player? Yeah, sort of. Barely. Do I think Joel is playing second half of the back-to-back? No, I don't. Mamu Kalashvili is out. There you go. Pacers lineup announced. Halliburton, Bruce Brown, Mathurin, Toppin, Turner. Same lineup as always. I think that's all of the early lineups done. It is. So we're just waiting on the Spurs, the Thunder, and the Nets for the 7:30 game. Here's a quote, right, from Cam Thomas. And this is part of why I just always get frustrated with Cam Thomas and his role on teams. It's like, Cam Thomas, I was playing really well. I was helping the team. We were competing. I was 6th or 7th in scoring at the time. Like, who cares, bro? Like, that's the thing is he just dominates so many possessions. Why are you bringing that up, talking about your injury? At the end of the day, everything happens for a reason. I'm going to try rehab, blah, 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 as best I can, get back to that level. Cool. And that's, again, stuff that I've heard, secondhand from that organization. Okay. All right, let's get back to some of the chat. Paul George's podcast, he said Batum said this was his last season. Yes, correct. And then he got traded from a city that he took discounts to be because he wanted to live in LA with his family. That's part of the problem. Can Bane keep his current level of production when Jara returns? No. Are we expecting a big Clay game or is he washed? I fear he is washed. I mean, he's going to have to get more shots. It doesn't mean they're going to go in. Well, he's washed to a degree. He's definitely not old Clay. Did I already talk about the Levine news? I haven't. Trade rumors like this, I just pay no attention to it. It's very obvious, and the Bulls have been doing this for a long time. So the Shams report is they're investigating trades. They were doing this all through the offseason, right? It doesn't mean that he's getting traded now. People will say, well, just wait until December 15th hits. That really never happens. Maybe he gets dealt at some point. I don't think it'll be to Philadelphia. They should trade him. They should trade DeRozan. They should trade Vooch. They should trade them all. But they won't. I guess the good thing is that, and remember all of these reports, like where is this coming from? Is this coming from Levine's agent because he wants to get out of there? Are the Bulls leaking this out? Are the Bulls actually on board with this? Like, who knows? Who knows with any of this stuff? So I wouldn't be making any moves in fantasy based on this. Now, you could come out and say, well, what about stashing Kobe White? And I'd say to you, I've had him all season, mate, and I've told you to roster him all season, so that's why it doesn't change my opinion. And it probably would make Kobe White better, but who on earth knows what player would come back in exchange for Zach LaVine? I don't know. Maybe it is someone that nukes Kobe White, or maybe Kobe White's part of a deal in salary matching. I don't know. But I believe that Kobe White should be rostered irrespective of this news. And I still don't really trust the Bulls are going to do anything. Do I see potential in Dalen Terry? No, I think he's terrible. Or Julian Phillips' prospects. Look, Jack, just don't worry about this at this point. All that stuff you need to react in the moment because it's impossible to know. Dalen Terry showed me nothing, but it's very rare that they send Levine out and literally no players return. And what would you get any players that are worse than Terry and Phillips? I don't know. Gilead or Champagne for today? I'd probably go with Gilead. Do I see a scenario and with Wes Unseld fired this season? I do not. No. Do you try to say games played for Morant in a roto format? What do you mean? Like, in a roto format, save games played. Like, Morant will play his 50-odd games or whatever it is, but you should just be on that pace anyway. So when he comes back, he just slides in and you play those games. Unless you're, for some reason, going super hard, super early, which makes no sense, you don't have to save games for him, I wouldn't have thought. He's not going to play extra games. Is Derek White droppable? No. Do I jam NRL fantasy? I have never watched an NRL game in my life. I do not like rugby, and that is just me. I'm from Victoria. We don't really do rugby down here, even though the Storm are good. Melton or Reddish? I take Melton very clearly there. Who are two of my drops to activate Fox and Booker? Rui, Mo, White. No, there's a lot of options there. 15 category league. It's ridiculous, Aditya. Field goals made, shit category. Free throws made, shit category. Double doubles, terrible category. Triple doubles, terrible category. Flagrant fouls, terrible category. Just abandon that. That's ridiculous. But who do you drop? Well, it's Hachimura very easily. You probably don't have to activate Booker yet, considering they don't play until tomorrow. But otherwise, it's going to be probably Hardaway, I would guess. But given you're playing an insane format, that might change the valuation of players. Who's my bet for first coach fired this year? Taylor Jenkins? It won't be Taylor Jenkins. It's a good question. The bad coaches are on the bad teams, and I think they're okay with that. So, yeah, Billups is bad. Jason Kidd is bad, but they're actually playing really well, so he won't be fired. I consider Jacques Vaughn, but he hasn't even been in the job for a year yet. It's about a year since he's took over. It won't be Unseld. They're terrible, but it won't be him. Billy Donovan, they just signed to extension, ridiculously, but I don't think it's going to be him. Will we ever get the soundboard to return? I highly doubt it. I don't see how it's going to happen. Like what other coaches? Oh, you know who? Willie Green. Willie Green is my bet. They look yuck. How did I like the Loki finale? Yeah, I loved it. I thought it was really good. Love what they did. Loki looked great in it. I'd love to see how this all ties in moving forward. I thought Loki's arc was fantastic. Would like to see a little bit more from old mate Renslayer, but I thought it was really good. Big Bash fantasy. Wow. I haven't watched Big Bash for years. What AFL team do I go to? Go for Mac Murphy. Welcome to the show. I go for the Bulldogs. Shout out to any Bulldogs players who are watching this, because a few of them follow me and love their fantasy. AFL players love NBA fantasy. A few of them DM me about things there. They do enjoy it. Bigger stuff? I don't think so. The Cavs are playing all right. Oh, that's a good one. Matus, Adrian Griffin. Do you reckon they'd fire him like a month in? They should, but they won't. But they should fire him, but they won't. I don't think bigger stuff should be fired. I don't think he's the right guy for them, but they also don't think they'll do that. What about Steve Clifford? They're cheap, this franchise. I don't think they think they're going anywhere this season. They think they want Clifford to instill defensive principles. Clifford happily toes the organisation along. Like, his quote about Miles Bridges was absolutely disgusting the other day. And I think he's out of contract after this year, so I don't think they'd fire him. All right, what else have we got in here? We've got 5 minutes to go. Still no more information. Drop Grant Williams for Alec Burks. I'd be okay with that, but in the end, you're just probably going to stream that slot through. Is that FI? Does basketball wants to have a feature to see how you would have done that week versus the rest of the teams in the league, other than importing every team? No, we don't. I know that there are people who do like doing that. That's not something I ever really do, to look at how my team looked versus every other team in the week. I'm not sure what benefit I personally get out of that. But no, we don't have that feature. Is Abaji going to continue to play 30 minutes? Well, we've seen 2 games without Walker Kessler, rim shaker. He did in one and he didn't in the other. Even if he does, I wouldn't be rushing to add him in 12-team leagues. I don't think he's a very good permanent player. He had a solid game last time. He's like a points and 3 streamer for 14 or 16 team leagues. He might play 30 minutes, but I think there are going to be times when they get Olynyk out there a little bit more and that impacts him. Is Washington a hold? Yeah, he has to be. Why would you drop Rui if Bron is out? Bron is not out. Simple as that. But he was asking, when we're talking about this stuff, right? He's like, I need to activate somebody. You don't make a long-term decision based on what may or may not happen today. So I can't remember who he was activating. One of them was Booker and one was Fox, I think, right? Which, again, you don't really have to do today. You can do tomorrow because those guys don't play today. But holding on to Rui Hachimura, who might have one game of usefulness or might have 0, to get long-term activation of his other guys, this doesn't make any sense. AD, don't know, Spheric Germ, as you can see on the screen behind where I am, there's a big screen of names. There's a big green box with a P next to Anthony Davis. That P means probable, and we will update that when we know. Much like there's a big blue Q next to LeBron. There's a P that's green next to Johnny Collins, who's probable. The other one we're waiting on still is Xavier Tillman, who is questionable. Whether he starts or not, I expect that they will start Bismack Biyombo in that spot still. Is JT Thor a stream for tonight? Yeah, look, 16-10, absolutely, 100%. Is Darius Garland a buy low? Yes. Is Keontae George the next Darius Garland? I think Garland, even though George has racked up a lot of assists to start, Garland is a better point guard / passer. George is more of a scoring type. So I don't really love that comparison. I know that Utah guys all through preseason compared Keontae a lot to Donovan Mitchell, and that's what I'm going to stick with. What are my thoughts on Jonathan Isaac? Legendary author and TV show guest appearance guy. There you go. High-end comp is Donovan Mitchell rookie year. Timmy? Is Jabari on bust watch? It is early. I like to reserve that for like 3 years, apart from Johnny Davis, who was a bust before he was drafted. But on bust watch, sure. Is Duran droppable in 10 teams? No. You have TVA posters behind you for a long time, even though Loki series ain't released yet. No? I got them during season 1. What are my thoughts on thoughts? I wish I didn't have as many of them. Too many thoughts leads to too much confusion. Is Patrick Williams a bust? It's year 4. He's done nothing. For pick 4, yes, that is a bust. He still might be able to carve out a usable NBA career, but yes, he is a bust so far. How do I think the Clippers improve? They need to put Westbrook on the bench and play lineups that make sense. And Kawhi needs to take back over. Am I ready to accept that Jalen Green is a star in this league? Didn't he shoot 8% last game, Marty? No, I'm not ready to accept that. Two minutes ago, what was the Rudy Gobert night like running this podcast? I assume you mean the COVID night. I honestly don't remember what happened there. I honestly don't. I know we had a lot of views on that show. That was really because it was obviously shit was just happening. We didn't know what was going on. I don't remember trying to understand what was happening. It sort of blacked out of my mind. Is Melbourne a good place to visit in February? It's really hot here in February. Like, it's really hot. Well, Rozier's... We're getting ready to go here, by the way. Will Rozier's pre-injury production return come back when Bridges is back or something like that? I'm trying to read other stuff. Will Rozier's pre-injury production be impacted by Bridges' return? Almost definitely, yes. Bridges is just going to have to get more usage than the guy that was filling his spot, which was JT Thor. So yes, it will have a hit to most guys, I would expect, apart from LaMelo Ball, who will still maintain his usage. So yes. And that is going to do it for us. There's a preview show for Wednesday's games coming up straight after this. Spurs lineup is confirmed. Sohan, Vassell, Champagny, Wembanyama, and Zach Collins. Thunder lineup confirmed. Giddey, Shea, Dort, Williams, and Chet. All confirmed. Just as we head out of here. Good timing. I will see you guys later. Hit thumbs up on the way out. Bye.